Sean Wade live from the 704. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've been in Charlotte. But back in college students were back. Second semester, good luck to you all. I'm gonna need it especially, but good luck to y'all too. Yeah, I got plenty to talk about, so I'm not gonna waste too much time here on the intro, so to speak. Of course, like, share, and subscribe. As always, all the support is appreciated. All the support you guys have been giving me I love it, appreciate it. Keep it going. Let's see. Of course, in the description we got timestamps as always, all that good stuff. Long form content, so I get it. If you're looking for a particular segment, go straight to it. Also, but yeah, of course, as always, follow me on social media. I'm super active on that. And yeah, let's see. Let's start off chronologically. With the college football playoff, we had the national championship, ladies and gentlemen. Alabama versus Ohio State. Mac Jones, 36 for 45, 464. 5 touchdowns for him. Smitty, in one half of work, 12 receptions, 215. 3 touchdowns for him. Najee Harris, 158 total, 3 touchdowns for him. Do I really need to say who won this game? I mean, do I really need to say the score? I nearly predicted this perfectly. Last episode, if you go back, I nearly got the score right. Bama gets the win 52-24 over Ohio State. As expected, no real surprises here. The Three Musketeers, the big three for Alabama, did what they do, and they handled business. Nothing really big to talk about there. Good win for them. Good win for Bama. I was very cool with them winning. I think Nick Saban, of course, at this point, can you not call him the GOAT? Probably the greatest college coach of all time. This was one of the best college teams of all time. I saw a question posed about this team versus last year's LSU team. And I'll leave that to you. I think LSU, they're a little bit better. But you tell me in the comments if you'd had 2019 LSU or 2020 Alabama. I think 2 great offenses. I think LSU's defense was a little bit better, and that gives me the edge over them. But nonetheless, 2 great teams. Great season for Bama, though. Talking about Bama. Ohio State, nobody really stood out. Even Justin Fields had a very pretty much pedestrian game. Sermon got hurt early on. I think the first play he had, the first carry he had, he got hurt. Team filled in pretty good, but just that game was all Alabama from start to finish. Complete domination. Told you, I tried to tell you on social media all week, TikTok, Twitter, told you what would happen if Sean Wade was put on Devontae Smith. When they put Sean Wade on Devontae Smith, he got shredded. They put Tough Borland on Devontae Smith, he got shredded. I don't think it really would have mattered who they threw out there unless it was like Okuda or I don't know. Marshawn Lattimore maybe been the only people from Ohio State's program that could have stopped Devontae Smith from that game. But Bama gets the win. So shout out to all my Bama fans, Ohio State fans. I know it's pain for y'all right now, but of course y'all got plenty of other things to be happy about, so it can't be too sad. But yeah, Bama gets the win. Not too much to say about that. Quickly, I'm going to transition to TV and music. Juice WRLD's last music video, Bad Boy, featuring Young Thug, done by Lyrical Limited. We go full circle here. Cole Bennett and Juice, of course, had a great relationship. A lot of great music videos they released over their stretch. Of course, R.I.P. to Juice. Crazy that it's been over a year since he passed. But he's had a heck of an impact in death. Again, it's a shame. He would have definitely probably been one of the leaders of this next generation, one of the top guys. But this is a good final music video, I think. Good song as well. I approve. It's got my stamp of approval. So if you haven't watched it already, even though you probably have, let's be honest, if you're a hip-hop fan or you're a Juice fan or you're a Thug fan, you've probably already watched it. But if you haven't already for whatever reason, go check it out. Shout out to the young legend. Great stuff from Cole, great stuff from Doug, great stuff from Juice. So shout out to that. I watched a bunch of TV, a bunch of television this past week. WandaVision finally dropped on Disney Plus. Felt so good to see that MCU card for the first time in what seems like forever. Did a great job with the aesthetic and the styling of that show. Very interesting. It's very different, I think, which is what helps with the interest. It's a great way to help provide interest also. I think these television series to characters like Scarlet Witch and Vision, who aren't, I guess, so to speak, the main, name guys or girls of the MCU, but are still viable players, and this is a great way for them to get their shine. Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany do great jobs acting. They're great. They're phenomenal. Perfect in their roles. Very entertaining series. They did a great job sewing that uneasiness in, dropping some Easter eggs here and there. So if you haven't watched it already, highly recommend WandaVision. If you're looking for something different or you need your superhero fix, definitely go look at that. Been very good so far. They dropped the first 2 episodes. I'll be tuned in next Friday or this Friday coming up for the next one. But now let's get to ones I finished. And I finished a bunch of series. Death Note. Lived up to the hype. Absolutely. I get why it's considered one of the best animes ever. And it's got me hooked into the medium. And if you're looking for a way into the medium, highly recommend it. It's a great series. I will say the quality I felt kind of dipped after Elle's Proteges is what I call it. After they came in, I felt like the quality kind of dipped because the dynamic between Light and Elle, I think, is what is kind of the biggest driving force and what made the series so good. Is their dynamic and their competition. I feel like the ending part, the last few episodes, kind of suffered from not having that in that aspect or as much. Trying to keep this spoiler free as much as I can. But yeah, again, highly recommend Death Note though. Great series, legendary stuff. I just started Attack on Titan, so I'm sure I'll report back on that. Hopefully before January 31st, since it's going off of Netflix January 31st. Attack on Titan's been great so far, but Death Note, highly recommend it. Let's see what else. Also finished Reply 1988, K-drama. If you're looking to get into that medium, highly recommend it. It was good. Watch the first couple episodes. Takes a little bit of a while to get into it, but once you get into it, once it hits its stride, it's so good. So good, great kind of coming of age type thing. Great series. Very entertaining from start to finish. Tim Jong-won, of course, to the death. He won in real life. But anyways, The Queen's Gambit. Also, finally got around to watching The Queen's Gambit. This was a great promotional tactic if this is what it was for chess. I've never been so interested in chess in my life. Let's see. ATJ did a great job acting. A lot of great actors in that show. For only 7 episodes, and her having to go from a teenager we've seen her as a child to her as an adult and is eventually one of the best players on the planet. In 7 episodes, that could have felt rushed, but it didn't feel rushed. I think the plot line was very well. I'd definitely be interested in a season 2. Definitely wasn't a boring series. It was a very, very interesting series. Seeing her dynamics, seeing how Beth operated, and her dynamics with the different characters, her opponents, or her mother, or her foster mother, and all that type of stuff. So, very good series. I get why it was hyped. I get why it was #1 on Netflix for forever. So shout out to The Queen's Gambit. I haven't watched it already. Highly recommend it. Saw a bunch of good stuff this week. A lot of good stuff in the entertainment field. Feels good to have an entertainment field again. Now for the NFL. And NFL playoffs, just had the divisional round, just concluded. But before I get to that, let me start off with, can I get a free Deshaun Watson? Somebody please free that man Deshaun Watson. Please free Deshaun. Somebody get Deshaun Watson out of Houston, Texas. Please free Deshaun Watson. He does not deserve what that Texans organization has put him through. Somebody please come rescue my boy Deshaun and get him out of Houston. Get him off of the Texans. There's a couple teams after the results of yesterday that can definitely use you. And your playoff teams got your weapons. Come get your franchise quarterback. Please, somebody rescue Deshaun Watson. Second, Urban Meyer to the Jags. So, congratulations to Jaguars fans. We'll see how this Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer combo does for y'all. I know a lot of people are wondering if, because Meyer came from Ohio State or was Ohio State's coach at one point in time, is he going to go and pick Fields? No, don't even buy in that for clicks. If you see that, it's not going to happen. Trevor Lawrence is still going #1 overall. Urban Meyer actually has no association to Justin Fields. Heck, he didn't even pick Justin Fields as the top quarterback going into the season as an analyst. So I don't know why, for whatever reason, people might think that Justin Fields might now go over number one. No, it's for clicks. It's because they need something to talk about. Lawrence is going number one, and the Jaguars will have Meyer and Lawrence. We'll see how that goes. We'll see if Urban Meyer's health issues. Well, I shouldn't do the quotations. He does legitimately have health issues. We'll see if those arise or what happens. I know he's been talking about the stress that comes with coaching. We'll see how that affects him. We'll see all that stuff. Urban Meyer is known for a scandal or two, so we'll see if some scandals arise in Jacksonville. But yeah, should be an interesting hire. I don't really have an opinion one way. It could be a great hire, but we've seen great college coaches in the past not do as well in the NFL. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. What should I start off with? We'll start off with Saturday. We'll do chronological again. Green Bay took on the Rams. They get the win 32-18. No real surprises here. A-Rod 296 and a touchdown. Aaron Jones 99 yards rushing and a touchdown. Also got to give a shout out to Cam Akers. He finished the season very strong. I think he's the long-term answer at running back for that Rams team. He was phenomenal at Florida State. He's been great so far in his career with the Rams. So I'm a big Akers fan. He had a good performance in this game, 90, a touchdown. Green Bay, Allen Lazard also had a great game. Just imagine this Green Bay team if they'd have picked one of those phenomenal wide receivers, one of these phenomenal rookie wide receivers, instead of picking Jordan Love in the first round. Now, in 3 or 4 years, when Jordan Love finally gets the start, after Aaron Rodgers decides to hang it up, may even be longer than that, I don't know. Brady's kind of defying the time. We'll talk about Brady later on. Maybe Love becomes a great player, but that really means absolutely nothing. Because imagine if Rodgers putting up near MVP, or you could say MVP statistics, and play now. Imagine if he had another great weapon. Anyways, Packers get the win. As expected, Rams had a good run, but Green Bay, very good team. We'll see how they do next week. Their opponent, we'll get to that later also. But yeah, good win for Green Bay. They get the win. Buffalo completely shuts down Baltimore 17-3. Lamar got injured. Unfortunate, but Bills fans are the best. The Bills Mafia might have the best fans in the entire league. Honestly, them donating to the charities of Lamar's choice out of respect. But yeah, Buffalo's defense put on a show, put on a clinic, did a great job shutting Lamar down. Ravens got to do something about their passing game. They absolutely have to do something about their passing game. They need a passing game. They can't just run the ball 50 distances. They can't run the option. It's not going to happen. You got to figure out a way to get some weapons in that receiving corps and be able to have Lamar be able to be a great, or at least a good passer on a consistent level. Or the Baltimore's never going to reach that next level. They're never going to reach that next level unless they do that. But Stephon Diggs, speaking of people trying to get to that next level, Stephon Diggs has been on the next level the entire season, and it's continued. 8 receptions, 106, and a touchdown. Josh Allen, of course, solid game for him, but they only scored 17 points, so nothing too crazy. But Diggs had a great game. Buffalo looking very good, and after what transpired in this next game, might they be the favorite heading into the AFC Championship? Well, they'll be playing Kansas City after the Chiefs survive a scare against the Browns. Shout out to the Browns. Great season for them. They're here. I think they're going to be here for a while with the young talent they got on that team. Stefanski, a great head coach, it appears. Browns, you finally got it right. Congratulations. Hopefully next year when we have fans, y'all can do it again, because I know that's going to be absolutely nuts. Yeah, KC squeaks out a win. Shout out to Chad Henne. Anything is possible in the words of Patrick Mahomes. I'll pack that up right here. Yeah, Mahomes getting knocked out with a concussion. We'll see if he's back next week on the AFC Championship against Buffalo. They're definitely going to need him to win. But yeah, he goes out with the concussion. 100 IQ, 100,000 IQ play by Andy Reid, or the offensive play caller for Kansas City, to call the play on that 4th down to get them the win, to clinch the win. But good game for Cleveland. They were down early. They came all the way back, made it a very interesting game, made a very good game. And but KC survives. Mahomes 21 for 30, 255. Cheetah had 8 receptions, 110. Good game for Cheetah, great game for Mahomes until he got injured. But yeah, KC squeaks out the win. Then versus Buffalo is going to be a very interesting one. I'll probably do predictions sometime during the week on that one. But the finale, ladies and gentlemen, and quite possibly, this game was kind of like, for wrestling fans, when Shawn Michaels Sweet Chin Music Ric Flair at WrestleMania to retire him. That's what Tom Brady did to Drew Brees. Tampa Bay gets to win 30-20. Brees those 3 picks. Not all of them his fault, but 3 picks nonetheless. He only had 134 passing yardage. It's a sad way. It's a sad way to see one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time to go out. But once again, there's levels. There's levels. Brady is the GOAT. I'm perfectly fine with calling Tom Brady the GOAT at this point. Dude might be going on 7 rings at this point. I can perfectly fine. I am perfectly fine. If you want to call Tom Brady the GOAT, I'll also hear arguments for Jerry Rice. Yeah, Brady, and not that he had some crazy game, but dude just wins. He just wins. He wins better than possibly anybody has won in football ever. And yeah, I think this gets rid of the whole system quarterback stuff, notation, whatever. But really the headliners in this game, though, for Tampa Bay was not Brady, was not the offense. It was Devin White in this defense, this much improved Bucs defense. Put on a show. Devin White, 11 tackles. He had 1 pick, a fumble recovery. Just a complete performance. Great job by the secondary. A great performance. Against a very good offense with AK-41, Brees, Michael Thomas. Just a great Saints offense, and they did a great job containing them and doing what they need to do and enough to get the win. Sets up a very, very interesting matchup against Green Bay. I actually favor Tampa Bay in that game with all the weapons and just having Brady, and I think that defense is hitting the stride at the right time. Marshawn Lattimore, big shout out for him for the Saints though. Dude's looking like the best corner, one of the best corners in the league. Shut down Mike Evans for the most part. He's had his number a couple times in their matchups, and of course they're divisional rivals, so they match up quite a few times. But Lattimore's been great, but unfortunately not enough to get the win. Tampa Bay versus Green Bay is going to be an interesting one for sure. We'll see how it goes. You guys can leave predictions. I'll tell mine probably later in the week, probably on TikTok or whatever, or on Twitter. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, good win for Tampa Bay. Of course, the Brees and Brady had that moment after the game. That was cool to see them hang out with Brees' kids, and yeah, what a career for Brees though. If this was it. Sucks this is the way he had to go out. I know a lot of Saints fans that I know are in pain right now, not very happy with him. But what a way to go out. Legendary career. He does have a ring, but I guess still in Brady's shadow. He's had his number. But still one of the best in this generation. So shout out to Drew Brees if this was the end. Shame it happened in the Superdome without any fans, but what you gonna do? This is life. Saints gonna be very interesting to see what they do quarterback situation wise without him. It's gonna be very interesting to see what they have to do there. And yeah, sliding over. I still got time, so sliding over to the NBA. Before I get to the big news, the big news is very obvious, and I'll get to that. I'm gonna quickly talk about Joker. Nikola Jokic, best center in the league. Don't at me. This is not up for conversation. He's the best center in the league. Dude's averaging 24, 11, and 10 as a center. As a center. We'll see if the Nuggets can get back to the playoffs and do what they did. Shake Milton, also for the 76ers. 24, 31, and 28. They were in contention for getting Harden. Didn't happen, but Shake Milton, got to give a shout to him. Dude sounds like a Harlem Globetrotter name, but Shake and hoop. 24, 31, and 28 in the past 3 games. Good stuff for the 76ers. And yeah, we'll see what they can do in the Eastern Conference, because the Eastern Conference just got a lot more exciting. The Eastern Conference just got a lot more exciting because the Brooklyn Nets, it was a 4-team trade. So I'll just go through the whole thing. I'll probably pop it up right here, whatever. Brooklyn gets James Harden, of course. Houston gets Karis LeVert, Dante Exum. Rodunas Kirkos, 4 first-round picks, and 4 pick swaps. The Cleveland Cavaliers get Jared Allen and Taron Prince. And, of course, Houston ends up trading Karis LeVert for Victor Oladipo with the Pacers. So, got that. That's the full trade. Cleveland, one of the underrated winners of that. They've got Sexland. That's been doing damage so far. I can't believe I said that with a straight face. But yeah, Sexland has been doing work so far, and they just added Jared Allen. That's a good young core to have. LeVert is a good pickup as well. Though, Karis LeVert, him and his family on my prayers. They found that mass on his calf. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, but praying for LeVert and his family. Hopefully everything's okay. It's nothing too crazy, nothing he has to, alter his career. Or anything, just hoping for the best. But not a bad pickup there. They've got Christian Wood, he's been balling. But for Houston, they've got Oladipo now. So we'll see what Houston does. I don't expect too much from them. But they got a nice haul. You got a nice haul for Harden. All those first-round picks might, in those pick swaps will definitely come in handy. The Nets. Oh, the Nets. And we had a big discussion about this with my friends. It's a very interesting situation. So, on paper, and we saw they played their first game. KD went off for 42. Harden had a 32-point triple-double with 12 and 14. They look good, right? They played the Magic. On paper, this team with Kyrie should be going to the finals. Should be an auto ring, right? Absolutely should be an auto ring on paper. There are a couple problems with this Nets team that don't make this. I have to see them play, and they have to work out some stuff before I give them super team or auto ring labels. Because there are some very glaring holes in this team. And we'll have to see how they adjust. Steve Nash is a rookie head coach. He hasn't been dazzling so far. I mean, it's early days in the season, so nothing really to, overreact about. But we'll see how Steve Nash is as a coach. He's gonna have to grow up and develop as a head coach and make decisions very fast on how to control and manage this team, because he's got a heck of a job ahead of him. I'm not really worried about KD. KD's going to be KD. He's one of the best players on the planet. KD's going to do what KD does. James Harden is done sandbagging, which is what he was doing at Houston. I don't really get what the whole Harden's out of shape, overweight thing. He's clearly in shape. It's just camera angles a lot for the whole fat thing. Though he has gained a little weight, to be fair. But Harden's done sandbagging, and he's usually a pretty committed player, and he's definitely going to be committed in Brooklyn. So we'll see how that goes. He's probably going to be fine. The issue is with Kyrie, with all due respect, and I'm not trying to bag on Kyrie or whatever. It's just, I got to be honest, not that Kyrie's not a great player, but how is Kyrie going to feel being the Chris Bosh or the Kevin Love or the third? He's going to be the third piece in this puzzle. For this to work, Kyrie has to be the third piece in this puzzle, and somebody's got to adjust their play style between him and Harden. Those are two extremely ball-dominant players. They flourish and play their best and are most effective when they have the ball in their hands. Unfortunately, there's not enough ball to go around with both of them, so they're going to have to learn to play with each other. Kyrie's going to have to be okay after he literally left Cleveland to be the man that didn't really work out in Boston. And it's not working out here in Brooklyn because he's no longer the man. He's actually the third star on this team now. We'll see how he feels about that. I'm wondering how committed, not that he doesn't probably love basketball, but I'm wondering how committed he feels about basketball. There's nothing wrong with being somebody else off of the court. It's highly encouraged. Nothing wrong with being an activist. That's definitely highly encouraged. But, I hate to be that guy, but I have to question how committed Kyrie is and how focused he is and how much he, really cares and how much, he really wants to do basketball, or is this just kind of like a side job for him? How much does he really want this? I think is a question looming around Kyrie Irving, and it's something we're going to find out in how he deals with being the third star, because he's not going to be able to do on this team. He's not going to be able to do what Kyrie's done in the past he's going to have to take a step back, or somebody's going to have to take a step back. Also, probably the highest, but even besides the Kyrie thing and them having to figure out how to play with each other, the biggest glaring hole on this Nets team, and the biggest thing that prevents me from giving them auto ring or all-time great team status already, is the fact that they have absolutely no post player. Sure, Chris, they have DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan sucks. This isn't Clippers DeAndre Jordan. This DeAndre Jordan is washed. He is washed. You remember how I put up that picture in that tweet I had for Big Ben Roethlisberger? Well, I should put it up again for DeAndre Jordan, because dude is garbage. Respectfully, he's washed. He's washed. He ain't that dude no more. Nikolai Vucevic, very good player. Don't get me wrong. Vucevic is a very good center. He's a very good big man in the league. He ate the Nets up. Absolutely ate the Nets up. Dude nearly he put up a Jokic type numbers. He nearly had a 30-point triple-double himself. The Nets have serious rebounding problems. They have serious defensive problems, especially in the post. They have nobody down there. Nick Claxton is not that dude yet. You traded Jared Allen, which was your biggest asset there. I just talked about how DeAndre Jordan is washed. And honestly, after that, I mean, maybe Reggie Perry, but he's not that dude either. He's not developed enough. They have no post players. You're going to stick KD in the post all game and not let KD do what KD does best on the perimeter? No, you're not. And Jeff Green is, I'm not even going to talk about Jeff Green. The Nets still have some moves to make, especially depth-wise. You can't play with 50,000 guards. In fact, that's where Harden just came from, where the Rockets tried that last year, tried to play all small ball. We see how that worked out. It's not going to work. The Nets need some kind of interior presence if they want to win the championship, if they want to make it out of the East, because the East has a bunch of great big men. You know, best of luck. Honestly, I would be more comfortable if they somehow they stuck with what they had. I would feel more comfortable about the Nets winning a championship or making it to the finals. If they stuck to what they had, or they either had Harden or Kyrie and were able to keep Jared Allen in their depth. Because they also traded Karis LeVert. And Spencer Dinwiddie is torn with a torn ACL. He's probably not going to be back for the rest of the season. Unless y'all plan on playing the big three who still has to learn to play with each other 40 minutes a game all season long, they got to figure something out. I know everybody's in all about KD and Harden's performances because they were great. And they look great as a duo, which is not really a surprise. But you still only beat the Magic. The Magic, who are missing Jonathan Isaac and Markelle Fultz. Yeah, before I accidentally hit my 20-minute time limit. So I don't know where I started off. But yeah, just kind of to conclude the idea here. Can't give the Nets the auto ring yet. Got to fix that interior part. But once they do that, sky's the limit with this team. But I feel more comfortable almost if they had either or and were able to keep their depth. They're going to be a very exciting team. Should be a very high-scoring team. Going to be probably the must-watch team in the league. That Nets team will be. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. And that's the NBA. Now for Combat Sports, we had UFC Fight Island 7. Of course, we got that big UFC event coming up later on. The Joaquin Buckley. I mean, this was a great card, by the way, on ABC if you were able to catch it, which I think was a great idea by the UFC to do that. A lot of great stuff in that whole event. The Joaquin Buckley hype train is done. It's finished. The highlight, the knockout artist gets knocked out. Dicharenko, great performances from him. So big shout out there. Good stuff though. Good stuff in that fight. Good stuff from him. Good to see him get back on winning terms. I think Buckley's going to be fine. A lot of potential there, but I did see a lot of holes. That's why I wasn't ready to put him as the next big thing, and I thought he had a lot of stuff to work on. I think he had a lot of stuff to work on in that fashion, and I think he still does. Will he get with the right people to do that? We'll see. But Dicharenko, great high-level knockouts. Carlos Condit and Matt Brown had it down for the old heads and the veterans of the sport. They did some great stuff. The only decision of the main card, by the way, that fight was, Condit showed he still had some in the tank. Matt Brown as well. Very good fight. Good stuff to see from both of them. And yeah, Condit gets the win. But let's talk about the main event. Max Holloway versus Calvin Kattar. The best is still blessed. Best featherweight in the world. Do not at me. Even though that Volk versus Ortega matchup for the title is going to be great, and Volk is a very good fighter. After the virtuoso performance Max Holloway just put on, I mean, dude was looking over there talking to Dana, telling himself he's the best boxer in the UFC. Do a straight line, landed, and then dodged while looking this way and still talking. Dodged 6 straight punches. I've never seen anything like it in my life. One of the best performances. If you haven't already, I highly recommend. If you don't watch anything from this entire show, from this entire podcast, please go watch this fight, or at least the last round. Absolutely incredible stuff from Holloway. Qatar, no like scrub either. He took a beating, probably took some years off of his career, possibly his life. Max did, but I mean, Max completely dominant performance, unbelievable. Claimed he would be ready for Conor or Dustin this coming week if one of them had to drop out. I mean, I don't know about all that, but I mean, he's got some interesting decisions to make, whether he wants to continue to try to reclaim his 145 crown, or he moves up to 155 and mixes up with them. He's only 28. Again, one of the best in the UFC, one of the best in the world. The best is blessed, man. Max was in the Matrix. Unbelievable. Just an unbelievable performance. I can't talk about it enough. I can't come up for the amount of words to describe how good that performance was. One of the best in MMA history. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. He broke the significant strikes record. He threw like 700 strikes in this fight, which is like 1 strike every like 10 seconds or something crazy like that. Incredible performance for Max. So shout to the bud. You know, the best is blessed. Shout to Max. He was in the Matrix. Qatar, shout to you. Took a beating. Hopefully you get your 50 G's. And yeah. Now for the big one coming this week. I got Conor beating Dustin. We got the Notorious one versus the Diamond, of course. I got McGregor beating Poirier once again in part 2. Of course, they faced way back when, but they are much better now. But I think McGregor gets the win once again, sets up the fight against Oliveira for the title. Should be a very good one. That would be, even if Dustin pulls off the upset, I think that'll be a good fight. I do not think Khabib's coming back. I know Dana had the meeting. I think that's just whatever. It's ridiculous. I think he's just talking per usual Dana stuff. I don't expect anything out of that. But, yep. Conor versus Dustin, you leave me your predictions. I think Conor gets the win. I don't think it's going to be too crazy. I think it's going to be a very good fight, though. But I wouldn't expect the domination like Mystic Mac has been saying. But maybe he's Mystic Mac for a reason. You know, who knows? Maybe we'll get to more greatness from McGregor. It's good to see him more active again, though. We miss seeing him in the fight game, so yeah. Now for the roundup. We have reached the roundup, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we are almost done with episode 24. Probably a very long one, but also probably a very good one. Athletic Bilbao took on Barcelona in the Spanish Super Cup. Messi gets sent off for the first time in a Barcelona shirt, in a Barcelona kit. Over 700 matchups. This is the first time, though it's third time in his career, sent off twice with Argentina, but first time with Barcelona. Inaki Williams wonder goal in the 92nd, really the 93rd minute to win the game. Shout out to Bilbao. They play a very physical brand of soccer. But yeah, good to see them get the win over the Spanish Giants. We'll see how Messi comes back off of his suspension for his red card. But yeah, very entertaining. In the Premier League, we got Man U, Liverpool, Man City. Absolutely scorching hot. Even though that absolute dud of a game, Man U versus Liverpool, another 0-0 draw. But there's been so many in the Premier League this year. But these 3 teams absolutely scorching hot right now. We'll see who outlasts who. Man U, Pogba's in form. For Liverpool, Salah leads the league in goals. Man City, KDB just got his 100th assist for Man City. Bruno Fernandes, how many Player of the Months is he going to win for Manchester United? And just in the Premier League, dude has been that 40 million euros looks like that was a bargain right now, because he's been one of the best midfielders on the planet. Added with the penalties. But yeah, very interesting stuff shaping up in the Premier League. Chelsea is down in the dumps. Arsenal also down incredibly bad. But those top three, they're holding it down at the top. Is getting very interesting. We'll see how that goes. Hockey's back, so I'll be talking about the NHL again. Stutzel got his first goals. McGregor, the best player in the world, still. He's been on fire to start. Should be a very interesting season. Plenty of storylines to go around. Plenty of young talent. The NHL is back. College basketball. I'm doing the speed run right now. College basketball. Business as usual. It's not a major topic for me this week. I had a bunch of other stuff to talk about. So, Hannah demoted. I mean, business as usual. Nothing really crazy happened. That Mac McClung game winner was crazy. That Kentucky-Auburn game was not. That was awful. I never need to see that again in my life. Sharif Cooper is a lottery pick. What else? The Big Ten is still chaotic. Minnesota is... For some reason, Minnesota turns into the best team, an NBA team, when they're at home, apparently. Because Minnesota is just, I don't know, a different breed. They're just different at home. Big Ten still chaotic as ever. Guys are still putting up Player of the Year numbers. Big 12 also very good. Big shout out to them. Gonzaga and Baylor doing what they do. In high school basketball, we have the number 1 and number 2 teams in the country. IMG and Montverde took on each other. Montverde gets the win. Shout out to Tamar Bates though. Great game for IMG. He did a good job. Jacare Walker, another 5-star player. Special talent. He had a great game, but Montverde gets the win. Ryan Nemhard, Caleb Houston had very good games, and they get the job done. They get the win from Montverde. There's clearly a rivalry there. They do not seem to be on the best of terms, considering off of the way that game ended. But yeah, Montverde, best team in the country. These are two probably most talented teams in the country. A lot of great games today, so definitely check the highlights of that out. I don't know when this episode's going to be up, but definitely go check out the highlights of that because it's going to be very entertaining week and day, or weekend, so to speak. And of course today, MLK Day, in basketball, high school basketball in particular. So go check that out if you haven't. But yeah, that's the end. Thanks for everything on my notes. Very busy episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on my social medias in the description or at the end of this video. College students, we're back. We're back live from the Charlotte, live from 704. It's good to be back. Good to be back at my home, away from home. But without further ado, Ocho, signing off.